going on, guys? Wednesday, 2 games to go over in today's video, of course, but another losing day. I mean, the slide continues, guys. I can't buy one. I cannot buy one. All the updated records are at the bottom of the screen. SoBet currently 21-9 over there over the last 30 days. NBA playoff record from start all the way till now is 49-28. MLB 34-26 in the last 25 days. Lost another whiteboard winner, so we fall to 14-9 on the whiteboard winning free picks. I cannot buy one. I cannot buy one. I'll put the text on the screen that went out to clients today. Sharp picks. Everything's sharp. I went through this list, that list, this list. I went through trends, statistics, projections, looking at money splits, everything aligned for these picks. And I know there's always maybe one or two that go wrong on any given day, just because it's sports and it's unpredictable. But man, I'm really puzzled, and it's really starting to get frustrating, really starting to eat into my bankroll a little bit now. And yeah, it's just been a really, really tough week. And I don't mean week as in like 3 days, like this week. I mean like a full week, like a full 6-7 days of pretty much just losing. And it's really frustrating. These cold streaks do happen. I went on one in April. It was like a 5 or 6 day cold streak. But wow, I'm really shocked. I mean, team total over for the Pacers. They get 32.25. The live team total was up to 117.5 at one point in the game. A 7-minute stretch in the second half without a single point. I mean, it's just can't make this shit up. The Nuggets, I took the under in the entire game. The number one defense in the NBA, being the Minnesota Timberwolves, Swiss cheese, get absolutely carved up. I don't even know if the Nuggets missed a shot in the second half. So we missed that by like 3 points or something, even with that crazy shooting by the Nuggets. That misses. We had a little money line parlay in MLB. The Padres lose to the Rockies as minus 300 favorites with Dylan Cease on the mound. I mean, stuff like this, man. And it's just like, wow, I'm really losing on plays like this. Is what it is. I'm not going to change my exact strategy, the way I look at sports, my experience, everything I've been doing has resulted in those records you see on the screen. And those records, in terms of a winning percentage, are among elite, man. Elite. You can go to sportscapping.com, any independent source that takes care of all the professionals in the world of sports betting, and you can look at their records, and very few have winning percentages of those levels. But that doesn't matter. We're talking recent, and recently I suck. Recently, I can't buy one, guys. Like I said, we're looking at about a full week of just frustration and missing by this much here and that much here, and this costs us and that does that. And yeah, it is what it is, guys. This happens sometimes. I'm not going to change a single thing. I'm just going to keep my exact mindset. I'm going to attack tomorrow the same way I would if I was on a 10-day winning streak. Time to get this together, guys. We're about halfway through the month. Still plenty of meat left on the bone. The NBA goes into early June. I'm not tripping yet, man. I'm going to attack tomorrow the same way. I expect a winning day. Nothing short of that. I expect a really hot streak to start. It's just a matter of when. So I think that's pretty much it. Not going to talk a whole lot in this video. Anything you're interested in, my premium, SoBet, all the links, they're in the description. Any questions you have, just leave a comment. Game number 1, Cavs Celtics, 15-point spread. Wow. So let's think of this as like a casual bettor, the type of person who's been absolutely cashing lately. I mean, let's just take yesterday for an example. People could have just woke up and said, I don't know, New York Knicks, man, they're at home, Madison Square Garden. The spread's only 1, even though it's dropping and the sharp money's on the other side. I don't know, the Knicks at home in a bounce back. Sure, I'll lay the points. Easy cash. The number on the Knicks game, it's a little bit high. I guess I'll take the under. Easy cash. I don't know. The total in the Nuggets game is a little bit on the low side. It's a little bit over 200. I'll probably just go over that. Easy cash. The Nuggets, they lost their last 2 games at home. There's no way they possibly could lose a third. I'll probably just lay the points with the Nuggets, defending champions. Easy cash. So the casuals absolutely been killing it lately. Maybe it's just time to simplify our thinking here. Celtics, lay the points. They're the far better team. I think that last game, them not covering by a point was very, very interesting. And some people have some interesting things to say about that. The people who do believe sports is rigged and all that nonsense, those people are pretty convinced by that last Celtics game that might be the case. But here, man, I think this is fair play. I think 15 is going to be attractive enough for people to take the points with the Cavs. And the Celtics are soft, man. They are soft. They are just pathetic at times. and I don't think they're going to be any team from the West if they do make it to the finals. I'm going to lay the points here. They were half asleep in the Cavs game. Hopefully they're not half asleep here, but there's no way even 15 points. I'm not going to take the points and just go, like, please Cavs, like, please have enough to stay within the number, or like, you take the 15 points, you just cross your fingers and close your eyes and hope that the Celtics are half asleep. If the Celtics are engaged, this is a 20-point win. So I'm not going to overthink it. I'll just lay the points with the Celtics. They're the better team. Hopefully they take care of business here. In terms of the total I find very tricky in a game like this because we could see a drastic fall off offensively from one side and points from the other. So the Celtics could easily score 120, 125 here if they want. No problem. But what are we going to get from the Cavs? I mean, if we can even get like 90, 95 from the Cavs, which looked very easy in the last game, but now it'll probably be like asking for a handout. I don't know. The total is probably accurate. I would split it up depending on what side you want to play in terms of the total. If you're going to play the under, maybe look at the Cavs. If you're going to play the over, just maybe look at the team total for the Celtics is probably how I'd play that game. This game is rather interesting, and this is one where I do think the too in-depth, like way too caught up in numbers and too much nonsense. I don't think this game takes a whole lot of thinking. I think we just go with OKC and we lay the 4.5 points. The Mavericks, their back is just broken from that last game. You had to have it. You gave up the lead. Psychologically, they're cooked. Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm still expecting positive regression in terms of offense. I mean, I'm still waiting for this team's 3-pointers to get back to where it was for the entire regular season. They didn't take a lot of them, but they made so many of them. So they were an efficient 3-point shooting team, and I think there's more room to go up. I expect them to score better here at home. I think their defense clamps down even more at home. The health and then the mentality of Luka is still up in the air as far as I'm concerned. A fourth quarter Kyrie, always a scary thing, but Washington, he's got to come back down to earth a little bit. This cannot continue. I'm going to lay the points. This is one where I'm not going to overthink. I'm not going to get way too in depth. Better regular season team, better this, better that. Some positive regression still due. A reasonable spread, 4.5 at home. The spread actually kept me off the Nuggets in that game yesterday. I was looking at everything. I knew the Nuggets had blown the first 2 home games. They're coming off 2 impressive wins. But the line opened at 5 and got all the way down to a 4 and closed around 4.5. That alone was just spooky to me. I thought the Nuggets should have been favored about 7 or 7.5. And I let a line set by the sports books keep me off what was ultimately just an easy cakewalk win. I'm not going to make the same mistake here. 4.5, does it feel a little bit short? Sure, but these games have been competitive. Ultimately, it took a pretty good comeback from the Thunder in this last game. I think they get the job done. Their free throws scare me a little bit. Sometimes at the end of the game, a team that's not great making free throws won't quite get you that cover in crunch time. If the Mavericks are like doing a couple last second fouls with like 30 seconds left, if it's like a 6 or a 7-point margin, they foul. OKC misses the free throws. Luka just throws in a Hail Mary 3-pointer at the buzzer just for shits and giggles, and it goes in. And, you get like the Thunder winning by like 3 or 4 points or something. That's always a risk, but I'm not going to overthink it. I do like Oklahoma City Thunder. I like both home teams to cover the spreads. That's exactly what happened yesterday. I'm not going to overthink it today. Are we going to get the complete opposite today just because the sports betting gods are against me right now? Maybe. We'll see. Total of 213, I think, is a very sharp number. I don't see any advantage. I don't immediately read the number of 213 and think up or down. Again, I like splitting up the totals in terms of teams. I don't know. I think I might look at a Mavericks team total under. I think the Oklahoma City defense will show up a little bit better at home. I think we have some negative regression offensively from Washington. Luka might not be 100%. He's been kind of a mystery here for a couple of games. So yeah, maybe look at a team total under for the Mavericks. And the overall total of the game, I guess you could look under as well. If the Thunder have a pretty good lead and they're clamped down defensively, maybe they just kind of cruise to a finish late and kind of back off the scoring. But they might want to hammer these guys home. They might want to really set a statement here. So if they're shooting hot and they're feeling good and the crowd's into it, you never know. Sometimes teams keep their foot on the gas. We could get 125 out of OKC here. So yeah, the total, I'm not as confident as OKC to get the job done here against the spread. But there you go. 2 games. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure your picks, it's hard to believe they're worse than mine, at least recently, right? So definitely load up that comment section with your opinions, as at least right now, short term, you could say they're more valuable than mine. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. I'll update that whiteboard to 4-9, and hopefully with today's pick, we can get to 15-9 and continue to put some money in your guys' pockets. So let's update the whiteboard and get you guys out of here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Cavaliers team total to go under 94.5. I'm not sure what we get offensively out of the Celtics, but I expect in this game, take care of business, defense at home. I think the Cavs might struggle. They might kind of quit. This game could get ugly. We've seen a couple times in this particular series, those last 4 or 5 minutes just become so meaningless that the scoring really drops off with some really poor bench players. So maybe we get a similar situation there with a huge lack of offensive production, at least towards the end of the game. So even if it's close, it might still stay under that 94.5. The Cavs offense stinks. I expect the Celtics defense to be pretty engaged here. So I'll go under the team total with the Cavs. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hopefully today's a winning day. Overdue for a hot streak. It's got to be coming. It comes every single time. How many times do I just come on the channel red hot for 2, 3, sometimes 4 weeks at a time, and then I got one nasty cold stretch, eat into the bankroll a little bit, lose a lot of people's trust, lose a lot of people on the team. The hate, starts to get fired up, and then I'm just absolutely nuclear red hot, one of the best in the world again for another 3 or 4 weeks. Ultimately, this is a long-term game. But it is starting to hurt a little bit. This is one of the nastier cold stretches. So hopefully today marks the end of it. I'll see you guys in the next video.